Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the sun always shone a little brighter and the flowers bloomed a bit more splendidly, there lived a fairy princess named Lila. She was renowned across the land for her radiant beauty and powerful magic. But what many didn't know was that Lila had a secret. Every night, when the stars twinkled like diamonds in the sky, Princess Lila would sneak out of her castle. She wasn't going on adventures or attending grand balls. No, Lila had a much more important mission. She was determined to solve the problems of her kingdom, not with her magic, but with logic and science. One evening, Lila heard that the villagers' crops were not growing as they should. The villagers were puzzled and worried. They had tried everything, from singing to the plants to sprinkling them with fairy dust, but nothing worked. Lila, with her curious mind, decided to investigate. She took out her magnifying glass and notebook and went to the fields under the cloak of night. There she observed, took notes, and finally discovered that the soil lacked essential nutrients. The next night, she returned and secretly enriched the soil with natural compost. Within weeks, the crops were flourishing again, and the villagers were ecstatic, though they had no idea how it had happened. Another time, the kingdom's river began to flow sluggishly, and the fish that were once abundant were now scarce. The villagers tried asking the river nymphs for help, but even their magic did nothing. Princess Lila, with her keen interest in science, suspected something else was amiss. Under the moonlight, she collected water samples and studied them. She found that the water was being polluted by waste from a nearby industry. Lila then designed a simple filtration system using sand and charcoal and installed it upstream, all without revealing her identity. Before long, the river ran clear again, and the fish returned in great numbers. Word of these miracles spread throughout the kingdom, and the people wondered who the mysterious benefactor could be. They spoke of a guardian angel who watched over them, solving problems with wisdom and kindness. Princess Lila, hearing these stories, would smile quietly to herself. She knew the value of her magic, but she also knew that knowledge and science were powerful in their own right. She wanted her people not just to rely on magic, but to understand the world around them, to question, to learn. One day, the kingdom faced its greatest challenge yet. A great drought threatened the land, and no amount of magic seemed to bring the rain. The people were desperate, and the king was at a loss. It was then that Princess Lila knew she had to do something extraordinary. She spent days and nights poring over books and scrolls, consulting with scholars and sages. Finally, she devised a plan not just to bring rain, but to teach her people an invaluable lesson. Lila organized the kingdom's first science fair. She invited everyone to participate, to bring their ideas on how to solve the drought. The people were baffled but intrigued. They worked together, young and old, using their knowledge of the land, water cycles, and even simple machines. On the day of the fair, Lila unveiled her masterpiece, a network of aqueducts and rainwater harvesting systems. It was a solution that would not only bring immediate relief, but would ensure the kingdom's resilience against future droughts. The people were amazed. They had used their brains, their hands, and their hearts to solve a problem that magic alone could not. They learned that logic and science were powerful tools, and that when combined with magic, there was nothing they couldn't overcome. Princess Lila watched as her kingdom thrived, her heart full of joy. She continued to sneak out at night, always ready to lend a hand or a brain. And while the people might never know the true identity of their guardian angel, they knew they had within them the power to change their world. And so, in a kingdom where everything was already perfect, it became a little more understanding, a bit wiser, and infinitely more curious, all thanks to a fairy princess who believed in the power of logic and science as much as magic.